Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Markcus with MEDstudent VANLIFE, and now we are about to get on the road and drive 13 hours from northern Illinois all the way down to Shreveport, Louisiana. We're going to be spending 6 weeks down there while I do my psychiatry rotation. I'm really excited about it. As of right now, it is 4:35 p.m. I just said my goodbyes and gave my wife kisses and my dogs kisses. And now it is time to get moving. And I would like for you guys to come along this trip with me. Let's roll. Let's just talk about checklists. So some of my preparations or things that I do before I hit the road. One of my checklists that I like to do is making sure that I have made sure that I had my oil change. So I had my oil change yesterday. I had my oil change done yesterday. I had my tires done yesterday. Had them looked at. I actually had to get a new tire on my back right. I guess it had a slow leak in it, but I did, put air in it. I plugged it and everything else where I did get a nail. But the guy told me that, said, Markcus, you may want to go ahead and just switch this tire out, and just so that you don't have that risk of being on the side of the road while you're traveling. I totally agreed with him, so I went ahead, let them switch the tire out, and I went through the house, because once I was home for, I think I was home about 3 days. I checked over my house, every single bedroom, at least 3 times. 3 times. And not only that, I always make a checklist. Did you bring your toothbrush? Did you have this? Did you have that? Every time I go home, because obviously you take those things in, right? You're not sleeping inside of your camper or your van while you're at home visiting loved ones. No, you're just not gonna do it. So I did that. Me and my wife also made sure that I had replenished all of my food. So we went to Walmart, made sure I had my medications and those type of things, because you always need those. And you don't necessarily want to have to worry about that when you're out on the road, you know. Another thing that I did a couple of weeks ago, because I knew I was going to be traveling so far and I was going to be away from home, I went ahead and did my doctor's appointments. Went to see them, got my normal, general checkup. And everything looked good, and I informed my doctor that I was traveling. He said, okay. He wrote me my prescriptions and stuff that I need, and he put on them different dates, So that's always something that you can think about. You never know. If you're going to be gone 3 or 4 months and you have a certain medication that you have to have, it's good that you inform your doctor. That way he can go ahead and write you those prescriptions, and he can write the date on them. So that's one thing that I always like to do. And most importantly, outside of the vehicle, is just making sure that I spend as much time as possible with my family, with my wife, and my dogs, and my friends. That's just key to me, especially because I'm a huge family guy. So I am finally getting on the interstate now. I'm going to pay attention to the road instead of doing these videos, and when I come to a stop or along the way, then I'll give you guys an update. Sit back, relax, and buckle up. All right, guys, we're passing through St. Louis. There's the arch. Wow. How cool is that? This is my first time in many years actually seeing it. Downtown St. Louis. We're gonna keep on rocking. Heading towards Memphis on I-55. One big city down. See you guys in a bit. So I know I didn't get a lot of footage for you guys last night. This is day 2 of our trip down to Shreveport, Louisiana from northern Illinois. And I'm sitting here. I don't know if you guys can see the big Motel 6 right there. I got off the interstate last night, and oh my gosh, I kid you not, from St. Louis all the way to where I am now. It's called, I think it's Popular something. I forget the name of the city, but I'm off of 67. It was nothing, nowhere to park, get gas, any of those things for 113 miles. And it was raining, it was dark, there was no cars on the street. 3 deer ran out on 3 different occasions, ran right out in front of me. So, you know, that was nerve-wracking. I think I broke my speed all the way down to 55 miles an hour, which is crazy when you have, you know, 800 and something miles to drive. But, you know, it's okay. I split my days up like this on purpose. I could have easily driven it all the way through. I would have just left out early yesterday, but it's like, why do that if, you know, you have your entire house with you? So right now I have some food cooking. I'm gonna eat, and then we'll get on the road.
Get your motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way.
All right, MEDstudent van life lovers. How many of you guys use, or even, especially for the younger people around my age, how many people know what this actually is? And how many of you, if so, have one inside of your rig? This right here is my General Washington CB. It's a classic, actually, from what I hear. It was my grandmother's, and she gave it to me. She's a truck driver, so. But this is a really important thing, in my opinion, to have, especially when you, like, you can see around here, I'm in the middle of nowhere, and if I didn't have any cell phone signal or what have you, I could always reach out on my CB and be able to, you know, communicate with truckers or call for help, what have you. Say you're in the middle of, you know, the desert, you name it. And back in the day, people used to use these CBs, or had to use CB shops, or all around the U.S., or they had the big antennas in their backyard and could talk to people all over the United States. It used to be a really big thing. Nowadays, people don't even really use them, and now the truck drivers don't really use them as much as they used to. Now they're just, it seems like they just drive all day long. They never have their CB on unless, you know, it's an emergency, or unless it's, say they're sitting in traffic and those type of things. But I tell you, you know, for myself, I really like the CB, and I apologize in advance, guys, for the vibration. Again, I am in the middle of nowhere, in the back roads, so the roads is not the best. But, you know, I absolutely love my CB. I have a CB in almost all of my vehicles, because you just never know when you may need it. So let me know what you guys think. Do you have a CD radio inside of your rig? We have officially crossed over to Arkansas. Speed limit has now dropped down to 55. Good thing we don't have to go into wait stations. Amen. We're still on the back roads, as you can see. We have about 6 hours left. Sweet potatoes. Anybody want potatoes or tomatoes. On the other side, they had pecan pies for sale. You know you're down in the country now. So guys, we've been sitting here for about 15 minutes in a parking lot. Have no idea why it's going, why we're just sitting here. I've called over to CB. I'm not sure if anybody has it on or not, but let me show you guys what it looks like. So as you can see, we're sitting completely still. I've even turned off my vehicle. I mean, it only makes sense. Save some gas while just sitting here. All the truckers, nobody knows what's going on up there.
Alright, so what the hell's going on here? Just to piss everybody off.
They just want to make everybody upset.
Yeah, but what's going on up here?
I think it is so funny sometimes listening to all the truck drivers over to CB. If you get bored ever and you have a CB in your vehicle, just wait until you get to a parking lot on the interstate and listening to the semi-truck drivers cuss up a storm, talk about everybody. I mean, it's pretty priceless. Welcome to America. Well, guys, finally out of all of that mess, thank you, gosh. And we're now almost to my split to Shreveport. Yes. There we are. It's that big old sign, Shreveport.
Use the right 2 lanes to take the exit to merge onto Arkansas 549 South toward Shreveport.
Yes, ma'am. I named her Lola, by the way, everybody. I am so excited that we are almost here. We're about 70 miles away.
Take the exit.
Still rocking and rolling. All right, guys, we are downtown Shreveport, Louisiana. Super cool. So glad to finally be here. Oh my gosh. I feel like we've been on the road for forever just because of all of that traffic that we hit while on the interstate. So thanks guys so much for riding with me.